make sure you watch the whole video where I answer a lot of the comments that are made in the comment section. There's some ignorant ones and there's some really good ones. Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to tell you the truth about the Ferris mower. We have had this mower now for just over a year, and we have just over about 115 hours on it. However, the hour meter does say about 160 hours, and that's because one day I left the switch on, and the way the system is set up, it will continue to run hours if you leave the switch on. That's one thing I don't like, but that's just this particular model. So this is the Ferris ISX3300, and I'm going to walk you through all of the, we've had this for an entire, basically 2 mowing seasons now, and I'm going to kind of walk you through the things that we like and the things we don't like, and our overall opinion if it's a good purchase or not. Let's talk about maintenance real quick. I have this rule. I think that if a company makes a piece of equipment easy to maintain, then it will be more likely to be maintained. And that's the case with Ferris. They went out of their way to make sure that there's easy access to all of the things that need to be maintained on a regular basis. There are a few grease fittings that you only grease maybe every 10-15 hours that you got to get out on your back to do, but most of them, like the ones that you grease every day before you go to work, they're really easy to get to. Here's another example of how Ferris has went out of their way to make this easy to be maintained. As you can see here, you just flip that seat up and you've got access to just about everything, all your moving parts, all your adjustments. And this is why the maintenance is going to get done, because it's so easy to do it. And I want you to think about not just the owner of the machine, but let's say this is a commercial machine. So there are people that buy these, and they're buying these, 5 and 10 at a time. Well, their operators are the ones that are doing the maintenance, not the actual owners of the equipment. People that are working for the company, the mowing companies out there. They're the operators that have to do this. So if the operators can't do it easily, they're not going to do it. This is another example right here where just to change the oil, which when you're mowing every day, you change the oil really often. That's how easy it is to change your oil in this unit. You just pop that out and put your pan up under it and drain it, fill it back up, and rock on. And they even offer a big tank system that lets you go long times in between oil changes. I didn't get that because this is just going to be for our farm and our home. And yeah, we do a lot more mowing than the average person does, but we're still not going to be doing what I would say commercial mowing, where we're mowing 8 to 10 hours a day. So I know this is being very basic by showing you where the oil filter's at and where to add oil is, but I tell you, there's some units out there that are so hard to get to these things. Like, it is very difficult. Like, you can't just take the oil filter off with a set of pliers. You have to have an oil filter wrench because of how hard it is. Also, this unit has 2 tanks. It has one on either side. And this will bring us to one of our questions. Let me show you here. There's your PTO, you got to know what all this stuff is. Fuel gauge. And the question is how does it do on fuel? This is a 36 horsepower engine, V-twin. And I will say that this engine is thirsty. But overall, as fast as it mows, I don't think you're using any more fuel than any other mower. It's just you're able to mow so much faster. So now let's talk about adjustability. This unit has so much adjustability. I just can't get over how many ways you can adjust it to make it easier for the operator. Now let's put this in perspective. This is a commercial mower. This is meant to be mowed on all day long for hot summer days. It's meant to be able to be adjusted and maintained by the operator out in the field. Now you can see right here, and I'm showing out these little stops. This is where you can literally adjust your handles for going forward and reverse. You can adjust them to the height of the person because, guess what? We're not all the same. Some are tall, some are short, some are fat, some are skinny. Again, this thing is totally adjustable to the operator. So if you have a person that's going to be on this mower for, 8 or 10 hours a day, you can adjust these screws out. You can raise these handles up and down. You can tilt them backwards and forwards. You get it exactly the way you want it. And that's what I'm kind of talking through here, but I was just talking to myself in the video, so that's why I'm giving you this nice little voiceover. But here's an example right there. That stops. So you can also, if it's going one side's going a little too fast and one side's going a little too slow, when you push it all the way forward, it's just one 1/2 inch screw nut to loosen up and adjust it out, and you can make the dial it in. So both, when you push forward, both wheels are going exactly the same speed. It's so easy. I mean, they've made it so good. And so adjustable, and that's just the handles alone. I'm not even got to the seat yet. Now, if you see here, we're going to talk about the deck height and how easy it is to adjust the deck height. And this will bring me to one of my cons. I will say kind of a con is that to adjust the deck, you're going to have to push forward on that lever with your foot. It's heavy. This is a solid welded deck. This is a commercial deck. It is heavy, and even with the leverage system, it's heavy. But you can start off with all you do to change the deck height is just drop the pin in the hole. So if you want a 2 inch, you put it in 2. If you want it in a 3 1/4, you put it in 3 1/4. It's just that easy. You just pull the pin up, drop it in the hole you want to, and then lower the deck, and then it's already set. Now, I will say this. It's better to get your air pressure correct on your tires, and then go ahead and put the mower on a level piece of concrete, and then do your measurements from the blade and on that concrete, and you can really set this thing in. Dial it in and get the height exactly what you want, and it's easy to maintain. So that's really important, because there's some of those customers out there. I am not that guy as far as like I want a pristine perfect yard, but if you're mowing commercially, there are some people, they want a 3 1/2 inch cut, and that's what they want, and you better give them a 3 1/2 inch cut, or they're not going to invite you back. Well, you can do that with this. So next, let's talk about the seat adjustment. This is, again, not only do you have the suspension of the mower, but you have the suspension of the seat. This is a very nice suspension seat, and it's completely, you're able to dial this seat in exactly which is comfortable for you. And it has, let's see if I can remember all the things I'm going to talk about or show you. It has all of the adjustability. You can move the right here, you can adjust the weight of the seat. It's a really high-end seat. You adjust it to how many pounds you weigh. So if you look here, I'm going to adjust it back to about 200. And if you're a little bit more than that, you adjust it the other way. And it's just that easy, and it's pretty dadgum accurate. And if you want it to be a little firmer, you can always adjust the weight higher. But I find that if you adjust it close to your weight, it gives you a nice bit of suspension without bottoming out when you hit a bump. So you've got not only the suspension of the mower, but you have the suspension of the seat, which is double most of what any other brand offers. This is why I love this mower, is because we mow in very, very rough conditions, and the suspension is very important, because otherwise I would be getting beat up. So here I'm talking about how you can adjust each shock, and I keep mine in a fairly soft position because if you'll see later on, I'm going to show you some mowing footage, and I mean, this is how we mow every time. It's wide open. We mow wide open. I mow wide open. My time is very valuable, and again, this is a farm, so it's not like a pristine yard that I am, wanting that perfect, golf course cut. I just want to get done quickly. And also here I'm showing you the roll bar. You can roll this back, and there's actually plenty of kits out there where you could put a little cover over if you want a sunshade over it. This particular mower also has the ability to have an air conditioner cab put on it, so that's pretty amazing. And I'm showing you here where that headrest can be adjusted up and down. Just trying to walk you through this thing. Things you don't think about when you go out and purchase it. This is a commercial mower. This is meant. You can see here, like just right here, there's lumbar support. Things you just don't think about. You go jump on it. This is a high-end seat, high-end mower, and this is why this is a commercial mower. You could sit on that seat all day long, every day, and get a lot of work done without having any problems.
You can move it up closer like that. Stop. All right, right here's another thing is it's kind of it's really, this one's one thing I'm not happy with as much, is that it takes a pretty good leg push to get that up. It takes a lot of leverage. It's a heavy deck. It's all steel deck. All right, so
let's talk about the mower deck now. This is one of the questions I get, or one of the comments I get. It's like, this mower, this other brand of mower mows better than this mower. This mower, this one's better deck. Well, let me tell you right now, this thing is a welded deck. It's super heavy. It is, if you put a set of new blades on this, it will mow as good as any other mower that I've ever mowed with. And I just, you really get tired of that. People are so, I don't know what's the word, they get brand loyal and don't use common sense. It's, swinging a mower blade is not a new thing. This mower mows as well as any mower out there. There's all kind of kits and accessories. If you want stripes, or if you want, different types of mower blades, you can get all of those different kinds. I've used mulching mower blades. I've used standard mower blades. I've used like high lift mower blades. I've tried several of them because unfortunately I tend to mow rocks and big rocks like pieces of granite. I've done that several times and ruined some blades. But they're common blades. You can just go to any mower store and pick them up. All right, let me tell you why I think Ferris mowers are the absolute best commercial mowers on the market. A couple of years ago, I had zero experience with commercial mowers, or zero turns for that matter. I always mowed with a small subcompact tractor, and I didn't have a lot of experience, just a few times on a zero turn, which I think makes it very, my opinion, probably more honest than some others. And the reason I say that, because we get so brand loyal. I don't have any loyalty to Ferris other than the fact that, I looked at all different kinds of mowers, mowed with several different, went to the Equipment Expo in Louisville, Kentucky, and rode around on a bunch of different mowers. And, I done it from a standpoint where I don't have a choice made out already. And that's where some people, they've run X Marks, or they've run Skag, or they've run whatever they've run their entire life. And it's like somebody with tractors, they run John Deere for their entire life. Well, there's no other tractor that can beat John Deere. Well, same thing with these mower guys. They've run a specific brand for their entire life, and that's what they know. And, they've grown to trust that brand. There's nothing wrong with that, but that doesn't make it the best. And I'm telling you right now, after riding, so many of the other brands, they beat the body up. They beat the person that's riding that, and they beat the body up. And this brings me to my next comment that I get. Is like, well, that suspension is going to wear out. I'm telling you right now, suspensions have been figured out for years. If you think this is something new, or Ferris was one of the first ones to put it on a mower. Well, just look at your car. It goes down the road, hit potholes at 70 miles an hour. Suspensions are not new, and Ferris overbuilt this thing dramatically. If you look at how the suspension is built, it's built like an automobile. It's got heavy shocks. It's got heavy suspension parts. It's stainless steel. They went above and beyond. They mean for this thing to last for years to come. And I get that comment all the time. That's probably the biggest comment I get is, hey, that suspension is not going to last. Listen, if you believe that, why would you even ever buy a car? So another comment I get is in a kind of a negative tone, almost like, there's no way you can mow at 12 miles an hour. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, yes, you can mow at 12 miles an hour, and you can see me doing it right here. Now, if I want that really cool, golf course cut, well, I'll slow down. Like if we're mowing around our home, then sure. But for this, what I'm doing, I want to get done. It's hot. I'm just maintaining property. There is no benefit to me making this like a golf course. I just need to maintain this farm, and it's what it is. It's a farm. So I need to go fast. So you can see here, I mow fast. And I want you to know right here, this is a dip that drops off. This unit has a very wide stance, and that wide stance makes it so stable. Other mowers use a much narrower stance, and I understand there are certain circumstances like going through gates and mowing in small areas, that plays a role. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're running a 60-inch deck and your wheels are not as wide as your 60-inch deck, you're kind of setting yourself up for, you know, a less stable mowing. This, you know, 60-inch wide decks, 60-inch wide wheels, that's the perfect setup, and that's basically what we got going on here. And you can see here that even though this is a wide mower, it is still very nimble. You can get around and mow up close and not have to get out the weed eater as much. Shoot, you can see I've rubbed the paint off the edge of that mower deck because I'm not using the weed eater over there. And what kind of problems I've had with the Ferris? No, there is no perfect mower, so I'm not going to say that the Ferris mower is perfect. But to this point, with about 120 hours on it, I would say the only thing that I've had go wrong with the Ferris mower is that the actual mower itself is the switch. One of the safety switches went out, the one under the seat. It went out and had to put a new switch on it. I didn't even bother bringing it in or bringing it to my dealer. I looked online. It was like $12, and I just ordered it off of Amazon or whatever it was. I ordered it off of. It came in, and I was instantly, I put it on in just a few minutes. So it was just not worth my time to drive it back to the dealership for a $12 part. And that's another thing. The parts commonality of Ferris, you can buy anything online for it. Pretty much anything you need, it's there. You know, I want to talk again about the suspension and how rough this is right here. This is a very rough area that's been run over with tractors and trucks in the mud, and there's ruts. And you don't see me being beat up, and you still see me going just as fast as, you know, the mower can go. And there's just not any other mowers out there that can, you know, that can hang with this. It would beat the operator to pieces. If you've got a large farm like we do and do a lot of mowing, or you're going to mow commercially yourself, or, I mean, just your crew. If your crew will appreciate it. If you're mowing it professionally with a crew, your operators will absolutely love you for this mower, because you can see me here. This is rough, and you don't see me bouncing around that much, and that's because of the two-pronged approach that they use of the suspension of the actual mower and also the suspension seat. So you have double suspension, and I just can't, I can't tell you enough how much that makes a difference. Now here's a point where that air conditioning cab with a filtration system would be pretty awesome, because in the dead of summer you hit that dry spot and you get all that dust blowing around. That would be a nice feature to have. And at some point, that cab is add-on. You could add it on later. I don't know. We might look at it. Who knows? But the reality of it is you can mow so fast that what used to take me just to, for basically a whole day of mowing, now I can do in just like an hour, maybe hour and a half. So I want to talk about let's talk about the controls. I guess that's what I want to talk about, is the controls and how responsive they are, and how, assured I am of how they're working. If you'll see here, I am mowing around these solar panels. These solar panels, there are thousands of dollars worth of equipment here that if I hit, obviously I'm going to slow down here, but if I hit these, I'm going to do some serious damage. That mower's heavy, and it would literally bend these solar systems off. But I've come to trust the controls of the Ferris so much. One, because they are so responsive, and two, because I maintain everything so well. I'm constantly, if I feel like something's out of adjustment, I'll adjust it back. Once you get it broke in, get the new wore off, you don't have to adjust it, hardly at all. I'd say the first 2 or 3 mowings, you'll find that sweet spot on all your adjustments and get your handles right where you want them. But I don't hardly weed eat at all. I do very little, weed eating. That's the ticket. I really do like reading the comments and the questions, and obviously there's some people out there that, like I said, they're so brand loyal. Well, Exmark's better, Skag's better, this brand is better, the Bad Boy's better, and there's no reasoning. They don't have any reason. They just, all they've ever run is that brand, and they've never actually got on the other brands. I would recommend you guys going to the Equipment Expo in Louisville, Kentucky. It's coming up here in October, and you can literally go out and get on a whole bunch of different mowers and mow with them and actually touch them. And I would say, you know, turn your brand loyalty off and go in to that and ride around with your mind open. And you're probably going to come close to the same conclusion that I did, is that Ferris is a force to be reckoned with. And it takes care of the operator way more than other brands do. I'm not saying that other brands are not, you know, mechanically sound. I know there are some really good mower brands out there, but Ferris goes out of their way to make a mechanically sound mower that also takes care of the operator. You know, you can make more money with this mower if you can stay on this mower. And some of the mowers, they just beat you to death, and that's just a fact. Listen, I hope you find this video informative and honest. That's the biggest thing. Is I'm going to have to answer for a lot of things when I go to heaven, but lying about a lawnmower is not going to be one of them. These are really my true thoughts. I would appreciate your comments and your rebuttals. Listen, God bless. Have a great day.